It's the beginning of a new year, and right now, millions of people are making resolutions. They're setting goals, they're feeling hopeful, they're telling themselves this year will be different. But statistically, over 90% of those goals will fail. Not because people are lazy and not because they don't want it badly enough, but because goals don't work the way we've been taught. So today I want to break down why resolutions almost always collapse, what actually drives achievement, and how to build goals that don't fall apart by February. This isn't about having more motivation. It's about having a mental structure that forces achievement. Let's start with the uncomfortable truth. Most resolutions fail because they're built on emotion. People set goals like lose 20 pounds, make more money this year, be more self disciplined, stop procrastinating, and follow through on things. Now, those all sound reasonable, but none of them change the one thing that actually controls behavior: your identity. And here's what actually that means. When things get uncomfortable, and they always do, your behavior doesn't follow what you want. It follows what feels normal. Not your goals, your self image, how you actually see yourself. So if someone sees themselves as bad at consistency, not disciplined, I'm not a money person, their nervous system quietly pulls them back to familiar behavior. It seems like self sabotage, but it's really self protection. That's why goals start strong in January and then fade out in February. You're asking a change in behavior to outmatch your beliefs about yourself, and beliefs always win. Achievement doesn't start with trying harder, it starts with upgrading your identity. And that's essentially what we do at Zygon with our mind technology. We change how you see yourself subconsciously. You can set the best goal in the world, but when things get uncomfortable, confusing, or inconvenient, and they almost always do, your behavior will always return to what feels normal to you. Not what you want, not what you intend, what you recognize as who you are. For example, someone sets a goal to work out every day. January starts out strong, and then a hard week hits. If deep down they see themselves as someone who struggles with consistency, they don't consciously quit. They might just skip a day, and then another, and soon they're back where they started. Not because they failed, but because the goal conflicted with their identity. Or take money, for example. Someone sets a goal to earn more this year. They get an opportunity that requires taking some risk, doing something different, or just learning something new. If their identity says, I'm not really a money person, or people like me don't do that, they might hesitate. Rationalize that it's too hard, and then delay. Again, it's not really failure, it's your identity, who you see yourself to be, that's protecting itself. Your nervous system is wired to preserve who you believe you are, even if that identity no longer serves you. And that's why goals feel exciting at first, but exhausting later. This is also why true achievement and being successful never starts with effort. It starts with an identity alignment. You don't become disciplined by achieving discipline. You become disciplined by acting as that person first, long before the results show up. Once your identity shifts, how you see yourself, then behavior stops feeling forced. This is why someone can be wildly motivated in January and then completely disengaged by March. The goal they set never changed who they believed they were. Hold a rubber band like this, and your goal pulls you forward. But your identity is the tension. And if identity doesn't change the moment you let go, you snap back. Change the anchor point, and the stretch becomes permanent. We've been sold the idea that success comes down to motivation. That if you just want it badly enough, if you just visualize it clearly enough, if you just stay positive, you'll follow through. But it doesn't actually work that way. Motivation is chemistry. It spikes when something feels new, and it's exciting at first, but it drops the moment discomfort shows up. Now, that's not a character flaw, it's just biology. So if your plan requires you to feel motivated in order to act, your plan is already broken. And successful people, they don't rely on motivation. They rely on structure. Here's the shift that changes everything. Achievement isn't about wanting something, it's about making the result inevitable. Most people set goals and they hope their behavior catches up to them. High achievers do the opposite. They design their days so the behavior happens first, and then they let results show up on schedule. Goals inspire, systems produce. If your success depends on motivation, well, it's fragile. If it's built into your structure, it's unavoidable. And that's the difference between hoping for change and actually building it. If you want this year to be different, you need a different model. Not resolutions, but a system. And there are 3 parts to a real achievement system: direction, identity, and structure. Let's lay it out. Step 1, direction, not goals. Goals focus on outcomes. Direction focuses on who you're becoming. For example, instead of, I want to lose weight, direction becomes, I'm becoming someone who trains daily, regardless of outcome. Instead of, I want more money, direction becomes, I'm building skills that compound income over time. Instead of, I want to be more disciplined, direction becomes, I'm someone who keeps promises to myself. Direction answers one question clearly: who am I becoming through my daily actions? If your goal doesn't change your direction, it won't change your life. Step 2, identity. This is where almost everyone gets stuck. People want new results while protecting the same self-image. They say they want change, but they still believe things like, I'm just not consistent. I've never been good at this. That's not really me. I always fall off eventually. Here's what happens then. Your identity will always overpower your goals. If your goal conflicts with who you believe you are, your nervous system will sabotage it quietly and efficiently. And that's why achievement requires identity first. You don't wait for results to feel like a disciplined person. You act as a disciplined person and let results catch up later. It's uncomfortable, of course, but that's why it works. Step 3, structure. And this is the dividing line. The difference between people who achieve and people who intend to. Structure isn't discipline. Structure is design. It means you stop relying on daily decision-making and you start locking behavior in ahead of time. And here's how that works in real life. Every decision you make daily drains energy. Having structure in your life removes that drain. You decide once in advance when you're calm and clear, so your future self doesn't have to negotiate later. You don't decide if you'll save money this month. You decide how much gets moved automatically into savings from your checking account. See what you're doing here? You're re-engineering your life and how things get done. So there's no thinking involved. A structured routine does not ask how you feel. It runs. That means the same workout days every week, the same work block every morning, the same shutdown time every night. You don't wait for energy to do it. Energy follows action. If a routine only works when you're motivated, it's not really a routine. It's just a wish. Your environment is stronger than your willpower. Instead of resisting temptation, you remove it. Instead of hoping you'll focus, you design for focus. Example, your gym clothes are laid out the night before. Your phone out of the room during work blocks. Junk food isn't in the house. You don't buy it, so you can't eat it. Your calendar alerts are programmed into your phone telling you what's next. If your environment requires you to fight it, it's not structured correctly, and you're likely to slip back to old identity patterns. Workouts are scheduled, not optional. You don't debate it, you just do it, even when you don't want to. Spending rules are automated, they're not negotiated. Money moves before you even see it. No willpower is required. Distractions are removed from your workday, not resisted. You don't rely on self-control, you remove the trigger. Time is blocked out before the day begins. You don't have to ask, what should I do now? Because you've already decided. What isn't structured won't persist. If your goals depend on remembering, feeling inspired, having extra energy, it'll eventually collapse. Structure eliminates any daily friction. Effort becomes unnecessary. Consistency becomes automatic. Structure then turns achievement into a default setting. Let's talk about the moment most people give up. Best you can guess, February. Why? Because the excitement wears off, progress slows, and discomfort increases. People think, this isn't working. Maybe this isn't for me. I'll start it again later. No, what's happening is identity resistance. As we talked about, the old version of you doesn't disappear, it pushes back. And unfortunately, most people quit right before the shift happens. So let's make this practical. I want you to stop thinking in terms of resolutions. Instead, ask yourself two questions. What did I try to change last year without changing my structure? What did I rely on motivation for that needed a system instead? This year, I'm not setting resolutions. I'm engineering my days starting on January 1st. It's a big difference with big results. The goals you set for yourself every year at this time don't fail because you're weak. They fail because they weren't tied to your identity. They weren't supported by any new structure. And they relied on your motivation instead of design. The people who succeed this year won't be more inspired than you. They'll just be clearer about who they're becoming. They'll build systems instead of chasing feelings and ambiguous wishes. And they'll stop asking goals to do the job that only really structure can do. This can be your year. Not because you want it more, not because you try harder, but because you finally build it correctly. Achievement isn't magic, it's engineered. And successful people understand this. And once you do, everything else will change. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and come visit me inside Zygot Academy and on the app for tools that will help you not only reach all your goals, but also help you rewire your identity and become the best you possible. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the inside.